a couple of eggs. I'm fixing these in here with this. What I'm doing is I add a few eggs every time I pick them up. It's easier to hatch them whenever I do that. Look right here. Now that's what it's all about. And I know what he is. Right there. He's half gray. Came out of a mixed pen. And I know what all's in there. There's some different hens in there. But I know the only rooster that's in there is gray, so I know he's half gray. Could be toppy or hatch, or it could be full-blooded gray. There was some gray hens in there, but I will know what he is as he gets older. But I'll take a book and I'll write down, make notes. But he hatched on his own, hatched out well. The humidity was around 36, 97 degrees in there. Dropping, that's done dropped to 88. That gives you a little more idea of what the temperature is in there. But we just add eggs to it alone. I'm trying to latch this and run the camera. But I gotta go check on the brooder coop. I don't know if I trust that or not. It's just hanging out. I went ahead and I pulled that 100-watt light bulb out. We got our feeder and our water in here. What does this thermometer right in here say? It's showing it's almost up to 80 degrees. Yeah. About 72, something like that anyway. I don't know about this. We're gonna let me get this on over. That's indoor 59. We're gonna lay that right over there like that. That's indoor select. Indoor 44. Outdoor 64. It's 24 minutes. That's all the max, minimum, max. It's on a loop. Outdoor right now 69 and falling, so it was right around 70. It was right. But anyway, we got it ready. We got our waterer in there, feed in there. We changed over that light bulb. Thermostat's in this one, it'll kick on and off. Move that over. We still got this light bulb. Of course, all of them is running. This one's got a red bulb in it as well. What I did is I lined that with a feed sack. Just anything to make help cleaning up after babies easier. Because you'll pull these out when they get to a certain age, put them in another pen, and then a new batch will go in there. You do not want that new batch of babies on the old crap from other chickens. They'll get sick and die right off the bat. Now I want to show you one more thing right quick. I'm just going to walk over here with the camera. I've been working in here now. I started building me a shave horse we're going to work on. I'm going to film a little more of that later. But right here, if you're going to hatch babies and you're going to hatch in an incubator in a brooder coop, I take that 1 gallon water and I fill this syringe full. I take that, I stick it down in there, and I suck that syringe completely full, and I fill that 1 gallon water up. When I started doing that, I do not get coccidia no more. However you pronounce that, I'm not 100% I know how to spell it, but anyway, they call it coxy. If you'll put that in the water, you can forget it. You don't have to worry about them dying. I've tried apple cider vinegar and several other things, and it don't seem to work as well. We're going to film a little of this build on this shave horse. I got the legs in it, but I cheated. I drilled the holes with a paddle bit on this right here. and I clamped the legs in this vise and used my draw knife to peel them down. But I've got a brand new draw knife coming, and whenever I get it, we'll go to work on some other stuff and I'll show you. Happy chicken farming though. You've watched some, you looked at some other videos, you've seen this brooder box that we've just built. When I came out here earlier, that light was off, but we've got babies in here. They got a water in there. Thermostat. When I come out here earlier, it was kicked off. There was no power, but it had got warmed up today. I think currently right now it's on 87 degrees. That's about right. Now the way I'm doing this, a lot of people, they'll put all their eggs in the incubator and hatch them all off at one time. In other words, when they come home, they'll have 25, 30, 40 eggs, whatever. I think the most average little styrofoam incubator hold about 40. I can probably put 100 in mine. Maybe more than that. Successfully, I could probably do 100. But I've had more trouble keeping my eggs, putting them in there, and getting them all to hatch, have a low hatch rating. So far, when I pick up an egg out of here, let me move this camera real far. When I go out here, this is my brood pens right here on some of my game file. When I go out there every day and we feed and I find an egg, I pick it up, I take a pencil, usually I got one in my ear in my pocket, I write the date on that egg and I write what it is. Whatever bloodline, if it's a silky, if it's a gray game, or if it's a mule train gray game, or a Clemens gray game, or a hatch, or if it's a Polish, or if it's a Rhode Island red, or Americana, or Araucana, or whatever. I write that on there, put a date on it, then I go in there and put it in the incubator. With that date, I know within 21 days it's going to hatch. This is the first year, the very first egg that hatched on day 19. I've never hatched an egg in 19 days. I don't know if that's a good thing or not. Chick's still in that box doing great. So it was a success. I don't know if the temperature was a little warm, whatever. 21 days is about right. I can averagely hatch on 20 days, and that's keeping it about 100 degrees instead of 99 something or 98 high. I got mine set where it drops down to 99 degrees, goes up to 100, kicks off. That's the way the incubator works. As those babies, when I come in from work and I find a baby hatched in that incubator, I pick that baby up out of the incubator and I bring him down here and I put him in that brooder coop. Now I don't pick him up as soon as he hatches. If I'm watching him come out of the shell, I want him to stay in that incubator in that same environment at least 12 hours. 24 hours is good. I don't want him to stay in there more than 36 hours. If he's been there 36 hours, he's needing food and water, in my opinion. Now, they probably can go a little longer than that. I'm sure people will argue and tell you that they need to, they fine for 2 or 3 days. I think probably 3 days they probably would survive out of that because they still have nutrient off the egg yolk. Once they get their first drink of water, then they got to have a lot of water, a lot of food, whatever. But usually I'm going for 12 to 24 hours. I want him up out of there and in this brooder coop. I can keep a lot more chickens in this brooder coop than I can in that incubator. Another thing is I have a lot of different breeds in there and I try to keep them separated, so if I've got 2 or 3 hatched and they're going to be some more hatched while I'm at work and I get home, I don't have a clue what is. So once I get them and I can mark them however I want to mark them and put them in this box, then I know what I've got in here. And I can look right in here now and I can just about tell you what every one of those chicks are that's in there. But I just want to tell you a little bit about the process and the way that we're doing this. It's not the only way. This may not even be the best way. This is just my way. This is the way I've been successful at it. Right now I'm at 100% hatch rate the way I'm doing this. Now I did have a chick in there. My moisture level, my humidity is not as good as it probably should be, because I've had to help a couple out of the shell. Most people's gonna tell you don't help them out of the shell. I probably wouldn't recommend it to you either. After you fool with chicks for a while, you can kind of tell if you can help one that's gonna help him, if not, because the deal is that chick's umbilical cord or whatever is still attached to that eggshell. Sometimes when he's having trouble hatching out, if you pull that off and pull that, you basically pull some of his guts out. he's gonna die then. So if you know what you're doing and he's pipped and he's stuck, and I had one today, he was stuck, and I could tell the moisture was not, it wasn't moist enough in the incubator. The humidity had got down. So I peeled around his head. It was stuck to the side of his head. I got most of it off. He's still in the incubator. I didn't bring him down here. I'm gonna leave him up there for a while, make sure he makes it, and gonna be okay before I change his temperature and environment. But I did help him, got him out. He was ready to come out of the shell, and it had just got matted up and stuff. And but sometimes you can help them. It's best not to. I'm not going to recommend anybody go trying to help chicks out of the shell. Once they pip, usually, and even most chicks, they're going to be healthier if you leave them alone and let them hatch on their own. If they don't make it out of that shell 9 times out of 10, even this one that I hatched, he's probably going to die 3 months down the road. They just weaker immune system. They're not strong and healthy like one that hatched out on his own. But anyway, this is a little bit about the process of the way we're doing it. If you find a different way that works better for you, do it that way. This is what I like, but I'm going to show you a little more. You can see the power has just kicked off in here. That up there thermometer, that's the cord that goes down to it right there on that thermometer. But this thermostat's getting a more accurate reading. You can see these chicks, they doing well. Eating good. We got chick starter. This is not a homemade chick starter, but our local feed store made this. I actually bought some medicated chick starter that I'm gonna put in the next batch. That right there, water, it's a 1 gallon water. When I put that in there, I put 3 milliliters or 3 cc's, basically a syringe full of Corvid. That Corvid will keep them from getting coccidia. That took me a while to learn how to defeat that, but I wish I could find a home remedy that would work, but so far I hadn't. They like it up there. You've seen some other videos, that silky. I'm missing one of the silkies. I don't know where it's somewhere around here. I seen it earlier. But anyway, it's about to get dark. We got some other things we doing.